Was really good. We back with another video, of course. Shout out to everybody out here who got keeping them moving, man. You know, on the YTBC tip, man. 7A Sports, Dante's Boxing Nation, Fight Hype, my boy the Fat King. Shout out to everybody. Vilified Media, I think his name. Fuck with his videos, man. And everybody who out here pushing and on the grind, man. But speak on it, man. Why not Lomachenko versus Gary Russell too? For the simple fact of this reason that, Gary Russell, these guys at 126 pounds, they don't want to fight him. Abner Myers don't want to oblige either. I think he holds a belt. Leo Santa Cruz, we know about him. He Doug Dodgers. He's Mr. Doug Dodgers. He's Mr. Doug Goose. I don't think Valdez, handlers want to put him in there with him as well, with Gary Russell. So Gary Russell said, if I can't get one of those big fights, and I don't think Lee Selby, that'd be a good fight, but I don't think he wants to fight him as well because, Carl Frampton said that, the negotiation was a waste of his time. So, we know Carl Frampton don't have a belt, so that's his fault. But, Gary Russell wants a unification fight, which is not going to happen. So he says he wants to move up to 130 pounds, and he's been openly honest about wanting to get the rematch with Vasyl Lomachenko. You don't see too many people who want to fight Vasyl Lomachenko, who say, oh, I want Lomachenko, especially at 130 pounds or whatever. He's the feared man. But, before that fight, with the purse bid and Al Haymon and Gary Russell won that purse bid. So, they got to get the promoter to promote the fight. And Bob Arum had a lot of confidence in sending Lomachenko over there to beat Gary Russell for that title. I think it was for a title. And since then, Lomachenko's moved up for bigger and better things. And now Gary Russell said he'd chase Lomachenko as far as he goes just for the rematch. So why not? I don't see too many people talking about it. To me, it was competitive. It was a competitive fight. And Gary Russell, unlike a lot of guys who tend to fight, top fights, it seems like it helped his career. Before that, he was babied. He was, fighting a lot of soft competitions. And he didn't get the flack that Wilder did, because I think Wilder's, the way he was moved was a lot worse than Russell Jr. For the simple fact, Wilder was a late starter and had a lot of holes in his game. He wasn't ready. Gary Russell had a glamorous amateur career, and I think he had to drop out the Olympics because he got sick. And all his brothers were good Olympians, I believe, especially the one that just turned pro. They all named Gary Russell with a different middle name. He deserves. I think it's be a good fight for Lomachenko, especially if the Slido fight doesn't come through. The rematch. I don't know if Lomachenko wants a Gary Russell rematch, but a lot of people just tend to forget about that fight, that it was competitive, and Lomachenko just did pull away at the end. It was a split decision, but of course it was a unanimous decision, in my opinion, about Lomachenko going around handling his business like that. And like I said, both of them dudes got better from that fight. I think they learned a lot in that fight. Even though I think Lomachenko took a lot more away from the Slido fight than the Gary Russell fight, I think the Gary Russell fight for him was reassurance to him that he did belong here, even on this fast track he was on. And for Gary Russell, he said he was, weight drained with the fight. He was sick. He was frail. He didn't have the same explosive power, and he didn't. I'm not making no excuses for him, but he didn't. But I don't think it really would have mattered that night. Lomachenko was hell-bent. He wasn't losing 2 times in a row. But they both has blossomed and got better. They was, Brandon Rios was talking about the other day, who's Lomachenko fought? Who is Lomachenko fought? And they told him, they started rounding off names that he did for, and he was like, yeah, Gary Russell. He's like, what, he beat Gary Russell? He's still done pound for pound. Yeah. Yeah, just because you got a handful of fights, but if they all marquee fights, you pound for pound. You in there for me. But it'll be a good rematch. I think it's a winnable fight for Gary Russell, but I would heavily favor Lomachenko again. But I think Gary Russell can make some adjustments and be a little bit healthier this fight and make it a lot closer than what it was. And I think he knows the adjustments that he needs to make for this fight. But Lomachenko has become a far better fighter as well. Like on some Dragon Ball Z shit, when you go train and then you go out there and meet another motherfucker he was training, and he got a lot better as well since the last time. So we see who got more better. We see who can make the adjustment. Most people are going to tend to side with Lomachenko making an adjustment. I think Gary Russell can make some adjustments as well that he can make. Smart corner, smart team. But it's a fight, in my opinion, that should happen at 130, And, alternates, I like to see Lomachenko tank Davis. A lot of people crying like he not ready. Or Gary Russell tank Davis. Why not? We gone.